In the dimly lit salons of 19th century Paris, a quiet figure sat at the piano. Delicate hands danced across the keys, shaping melodies that seemed to come from another world. This man was Frédéric Chopin, the fragile genius whose music defined the Romantic era. But behind the poetic elegance was a far more dramatic, complicated, and deeply human story. Chopin, the gentle soul, was also a secret romantic. A man surrounded by admirers, a man women fell for instantly, a man whose love affairs shaped his music and ultimately broke his heart. This is the true story of the lovers, the scandals, and the storm of emotions behind the quiet genius. Paris, 1830s, a city of salons, poets, artists, and revolutionaries. And in its heart, a young Polish pianist, slim, soft-spoken, eternally pale. He dressed with precision, almost aristocratic in his manners. Chopin didn't have the fire of Beethoven or the swagger of Paganini, but he had something rarer: mystery. His presence was magnetic in a quiet way, a gentle intensity that made people lean closer, listen deeper. Women described him as a whisper that consumed the room. He rarely smiled in public and avoided crowds. Yet the moment he touched the piano, he revealed oceans of emotion that words could never express. People weren't just intrigued by his music. They were captivated by him. And Chopin, polite, shy, delicate, found himself at the center of Parisian fascination. But before Paris, before fame, before the legend, there was Konstancja Głębowska, a young singer in Warsaw. Bright, graceful, and deeply moved by Chopin's early compositions. They were young, almost innocent, sharing moments of creativity, letters full of hope, and romantic glances at musical gatherings. But Poland was not a place for artists to dream freely. Chopin faced pressure to leave and make a name for himself abroad. He left Warsaw, but he left his heart behind. Their letters grew desperate, emotional, then silence. Constantia married another man. Chopin was devastated. Friends said he locked himself in his room for days. From this heartbreak came some of his earliest nocturnes, filled with longing, hesitation, and a sadness too mature for a young composer. It was the first time love wounded him. It would not be the last. When Chopin arrived in Paris at age 21, everything changed. In Parisian salons, women admired genius above wealth, and Chopin's music was unlike anything they had heard. Poetic, intimate, whispered rather than shouted. Aristocrats invited him daily. Come play for us. Stay for dinner. Teach my daughter. But beneath the invitations were intentions. He received letters scented with perfume. Women offered him portraits of themselves. Some called him the beautiful angel of the piano. Chopin was cautious. Fame was new to him. He felt fragile, foreign, and uncertain. But then a woman walked into his life, one who would change everything. A woman who would seduce the fragile soul and later destroy him. She introduced herself as George Sand, a pen name. Her real identity was Emmentine Duping, a novelist, a scandalous figure, a woman who wore men's clothes, smoked cigars, debated politics, and ignored every rule society placed on her. Chopin was horrified. He whispered to a friend, "Is she even a woman?" George Sand laughed it off. She found Chopin's innocence amusing, attractive, irresistible. Slowly, she drew closer, praising his talent, comforting his insecurities, and nurturing his delicate health. And then he yielded. Their romance was a contradiction, motherly yet passionate, intellectual yet emotional, tender yet destructive. They moved together to Majorca, a failed romantic escape full of storms, illness, and scandal. She nursed him through sickness. He composed some of his greatest works, the preludes, many of them soaked in tension and despair. Sand wrote, "He coughs blood, but his soul plays celestial music, but even love has limits." Sand's fire and Chopin's fragility were not built for peace. As the years passed, their relationship changed. Sand's children resented Chopin. Chopin criticized her parenting. Sand grew frustrated with his sensitivity. He grew jealous of her independence. Their home became a battlefield of unspoken anger. Then came the final blow. Sand published a novel, Lucretia Floriani, with a character clearly inspired by Chopin. Weak, needy, delicate, a burden. The entire Persian society recognized the insult. Chopin was humiliated. The breakup was catastrophic. Chopin wrote to a friend, "My heart is dead." He withdrew from society, stopped composing frequently, and his health collapsed at a terrifying speed. Chopin, the romantic, died at 39, fragile, exhausted, emotionally shattered. No great lover by his side, no family to comfort him. But even in death, he left behind a legacy shaped not only by genius, but by the women who crossed his path. Constantia, the first heartbreak, the countesses who adored him, the Parisian admirers, and George Sand, the storm who gave him fire and took it away. Chopin's music is full of tenderness, longing, and unspoken desire because his life was filled with the same. Though the world remembers him as the messenger of melancholy, he was also a man of passion, vulnerability, and heartache. Behind every quiet genius is a love story you never knew.